Thanks, Nick. Well, the first point of interest is that Halifax are coming down the slope in the first half. Now, David Watkins, I would imagine Featherstone are quite happy about that.
Well, yes, I saw Derek Fox. He won the toss, obviously, and decided to play up the hill. That means Featherstone come down in the second half, and that must be good as far as they are concerned psychologically.
But we will look for signs of tiredness on the Featherstone side. They're bound to be a little bit affected by playing 2 matches against, albeit a third division side, Bramley, during the week.
Well, that's right, yes, but there's plenty of atmosphere here today, a lot of feeling, and of course anticipation to see exactly what both sides are capable of doing.
That was fortunate for Featherstone, to say the least. The ball had slithered from the grasp of the Featherstone man coming forward. It bounced off Greg Pearce and landed back in Featherstone hands. But the scrum will afford Paul Harkin the opportunity to put in. Head and ball for Halifax, coming down the hill, and the first points are always important in a cup tie, and Halifax are looking for them now. Once referee Whitfield has sorted that scrum out, it's Halifax's ball. Pearce collared immediately. What a good quick tackle it was on him by Derek Fox. Harkin, the orchestrator. No progress really made by Gary Lord. From acting half back, it's Carl Harrison. Oh, dearie me. That was some tackle and fury here in the first minute. And mayhem, really. Harrison, that was undoubtedly an awful tackle on Carl Harrison. He was almost decapitated, I would suggest, there. And that shows how fired up the 2 teams are.
Well, the indication is that it was going to be hard, because that first tackle on Greg Pearce took 3 men, but when Carl Harrison goes in here, it's upstairs and downstairs on him there. He wasn't very happy about it, neither was his teammates, and this resulted in just what's happening now.
Brendan Tutu was the man who came in on Harrison. I don't think I'd tackled Carl Harrison. What a big bloke he is. 6'3", 16 stone 7. Penalty awarded by referee Robin Whitfield, and Halifax have the chance here of 2 early points.
Well, that's the sort of start, as we said. Points are important in any game, obviously, but early points always are a good start you can have in a cup tie. And there's plenty of atmosphere here today. Don't let anybody be under any illusions. It really is electric in the ground.
Craig Pearce, in the middle of your shot, has an excellent record. He's averaging almost 5 goals a game. 38 he's potted in 8 matches, and this might well be number 39. It isn't, it's sailing wide, and he'll be disappointed to have pulled that and wasted the chance.
Well, that's right, yes, because he got roughed up in 1 tackle, and I would have thought that would have given him the confidence then really to have really put one over on Featherstone. That wasn't to be, and that just shows you what pressure the players are under.
Fielded by Warren Wilson. So he'll come halfway between the halfway line and the Halifax 25. O'Callaghan acting half back. Some relief for Featherstone, that. Play switched, and Harkin astutely down the line, finding his touch, as he's done on this ground so many times.
Well, he's such a creative player, a lot depends on him. He's an ideal link between back and forwards, and when he's really on song, he can really get forwards running in all directions.
Halifax in a very good seam at the moment. They've been putting on a lot of points. Featherstone have had a poor run, to say the least, but they did win at Thrumhall on the opening day of the season, emphatically by 40 points to 12 too. I think referee Whitfield is going to be a busy man today. Robin Whitfield, the man in white today. And a penalty is awarded to the home side.
That was quite unusual because I've never seen quite a scrum push quite like that. They nearly forced Featherstone back in a heap, but the referee has given the penalty to Featherstone Rovers and a further 10 yards for answering back.
Always a silly infringement answering back, so Derek Fox pumps the ball out of the ground. Confirmation of that win at Thrum Hall on the opening day, and it's Featherstone now coming up the hill looking for the first points of the afternoon. There was a slight fumble by Tim Sharp, which just held it up momentarily. Now Paul Newlove, the first time we've seen him in action. Fox just finding Pearson, who had 2 outstanding games against Bramley. Martin Pearson, try scoring both of them. Tuta, the chip through. The referee is going to say that there was no foul on Tuta that time, and that's going to increase the blood pressure here. And it's Tuta himself who goes in for the tackle on Warren Wilson.
Well, I'm quite amazed at that because I thought it was a deliberate obstruction, but the referee was standing nearer than I am, and he allowed play to go forward.
The reason it is such a good atmosphere is because Halifax have such a travelling army, haven't they? And they match the home supporters.
Well, they are a superb away side as well as a home side, these supporters are, and much has got to be said and on the broadcast about the fact that they do support the club away from home as much as they give them the support at home.
Harkin doesn't find touch this time, and it's Chris Bibb from fullback. Halifax obviously up quickly on him. I think we were anticipating a rip-roaring cup tie, and the latest decision of referee Whitfields is a penalty for offside against Halifax. Leo Casey, the £100,000 signing at the start of last season from Oldham. Come back into the side in recent weeks. Now Trevor Clark, who uses all his strength. It doesn't get more than another 5 or 6 yards. Now here's the first real positive break of the afternoon, and Pearson is supporting well. And he was looking for Ikram Butt on the outside. It's a lovely break though by Andy Fisher, who's in rampaging form at the moment.
Well, that was a mistake, I think, defensively on the 2 centres, Watson and Greg Austin. One went up very quick, the other one was slow to go up. The gap appeared, and of course Featherstone weren't slow to make use of it.
Featherstone will be very aware of the fact that they want a good start in this match to dispel any doubts about their fitness worries after such a strenuous week. Fox, still the short ball favoured. Sharp, a longer one this time. Now Owen Simpson has a tilt and gets around his man, and Simpson, he's in at the corner. And Owen Simpson continues his record of having scored on every single appearance he's made on scrum down.
Well, just before this movement, the defence was suspect in not going up quickly. This time they paid for it because it was a long ball out from here now, which really took out men from the game. It gives Simpson the opportunity to stand his wing, which he did do, and he scraped in at the corner.
Scraped in maybe, but it's try number 10 of this season for Owen Simpson, and he's got a terrific record for Featherstone. That's his 22nd try in his 40th game for the club. A picture of concentration. Derek Fox. It could hardly be a more difficult kick. And he's pulled it wide of the right-hand upright. But Featherstone are first on the score sheet. What a good moment then for Owen Simpson, and they really love him here at Post Office Road. He is prolific.
Well, he certainly went for that try. He really did stand his wings still and went on the outside of him. Not much room to operate in, but it was a good try-scoring opportunity, and he wasn't going to miss that.
An early fillip for Featherstone. Newlove. Featherstone have never won the Regal Trophy. Halifax have in the very first year in which it was played. And I seem to remember one Bruce Burton being the star performer. And Halifax will have this ball. He's lost in the tackle, and this is Halifax's chance, undoubtedly. Pearce. Harkin and Jimmy Irvine. They were up very keenly, Featherstone, then. 2-2 was at the heart of the tackling. Halifax have great pace among their backs, but they're looking for an opening. This is Richard Milner.
Well, that was a bit silly then to do. He really came running in there at the last minute and brought his head up in that tackle, and that's why the referee is having a word with Gary Rose. Rather silly thing to do then, really. They controlled all things in defence, and to do that with nearly only one tackle to go was a bad mistake. Just watch now when he comes into this tackle. They come in, he rushes in here now, and it's just here now that he puts his head up into him, and that's what Robin Whitfield has spotted, and it was enough to have claimed a penalty for Halifax.
Gary Rose, whose nickname is Casters apparently, for no obvious reason, concedes the penalty kick. And this really should be a much easier one for Greg Pearce than the last one. It's very straight, and it's true. Halifax are on the board. It's 2 points to 4. Pearce's 39th goal of the season, and Halifax back in it. Here comes Mark Preston. First chance we've had to look at him, and he goes on a run around. But as Rob Hutchinson gathered it, he was still in some trouble. But the two wingmen combining there to take Halifax 20 yards out.
Well, he wasn't given much room then, really, by Preston with the ball, but it was really his strong play that forced himself down the touchline and gained something like 30 yards.
Pearce trying to switch it back to the right, having received not the best ball in the world from Irvine. Harkin again, he'll kick, and it's charged down, and no offside, and Featherstone continue and are now camped just outside the Featherstone 25 once more. They'll look to utilise their pace along the backs. Here goes Paul Muir, skipping past the first tackle, cutting inside, and it takes a three-man wall to hold him back. And Featherstone looking very dangerous. Fisher plunging for the line. And he was held up no more than 2 yards out, I would suggest. Brendan Tutor trying sleight of hand. It's a bit tight down there in that corner, although Simpson's shown he knows the way in. And they've lost the ball too.
Yes, the idea was right, but then again they've lost it now, and it's back again to Featherstone in a very commanding position.
With 6 tackles from here, Roger Millwood would not have been impressed at all by that. Here's Martin Pearson trying to impress his own coach, Alan Agar. And hang on a minute, where is he? He's in there somewhere. He knows about that tackle, all right. Nearly plucked his legs from him. Newlove again, going for the line. He might make it too. I think not. He could hardly be closer, could he? They swing it right this time. Trevor Clark can't release it. Good tackling by Gary Lord and by Seamus McCallium. Fox, a high one, a difficult one for Warren Wilson. Oh, and it bounces away from the grasp, and Pearce is the man who picks it up for Halifax. Desperate moments for them.
It really was, and it's a good tactic now of Featherstone. They can see that the defence of Halifax on the outside is very slow in coming up, and they're taking full use of it all the time. And there have been one or two occasions when Newlever's nearly got in himself.
Yes, Paul Newlever, an excellent finisher close to the line. Uses all his strength. The first quarter of an hour has been hot, to say the least. And Alan Agar really has got Featherstone fired up. I reckon they've been quite unlucky on a number of counts this season to lose as many matches as they have.
Yes, they certainly have. They've been capable of playing some good football.
Here goes Big Brendan, barging them away. Brendan Hill. He was 18 stone at the start of the season. He's still a big lad. Maybe he has shed the odd pound or two. Wilson kicks down the middle. It was a little haphazard. He didn't seem quite sure what to do with it.
I think that was because they were a bit slow in getting it back to the kicker in the first place. Pearce got then caught with it and gave it to anybody who was about.
Fine work by Chris Bibb, who made his Great Britain debut on the tour to New Zealand last year. The ball is reversed for Fox. Into it again comes this rampaging runner, Fisher. Andy Fisher, we saw him for the first time a couple of years ago in a match here when he scored twice, and he's had a few injury worries since then, but he's back. Clark always seems to be there. That was him driving in. This will be Leo Casey. No, it won't. Not whether that was a ploy or what, but it's got Pearson moving. And Martin Pearson races towards the Halifax line and scores! How did he get all the way? Martin Pearson saw his opportunity 35 yards out and nobody could stop him.
Well, it was a missed move, first of all, because the pass didn't go to the intended man. But that probably gave them the opportunity to come. But this boy has really impressed all season. He's a strong runner, he now knows where he's going, but just watch the way he stands still, Wilson at full-back. That was a superb try.
A really superb try. No wonder Malcolm Reilly thinks highly of him for the future. Great Britain under-21 international. Indeed, he scored a try and 8 goals against Papua New Guinea. But I think he'll have enjoyed that try even more.
Well, his strength is incredible. He runs straight as well, which is great. And that way in which he ran at the fullback, not knowing the fullback which he was going to go left or right, and left him just standing still.
Fine individual effort by Pearson, and Fox puts the icing on the cake with the conversion. And so Derek Fox's conversion makes it Featherstone 10, Halifax 2.
Well, they say the best way to go is straight to the line, and this is an ideal opportunity. He picks up a loose ball here, all the defence rushes at him. That was a first mistake, then he just straightens up. But just watch the way he balances on either foot. That was superb timed running, a great try.
It's got to be said, David, there looks to be nothing leaden-footed about Featherstone at the moment.
Well, there isn't really, as you said, John, at the top of the programme. They've really come out fired out, and they've really stuck to their task. They've really gone forward in the tackle. They've been more positive and far more creative than Halifax, who have been slow to settle down, to say the least.
Fox, this time he kicks. It's long and it's too long. It's out of play, so play will be brought back to the point where he put the ball out of play, where he took the kick, and we'll have a scrum. They're short of a ball for the moment. Now it's here for Harkin, and Halifax need a try. And Harkin tries to get these speedy three-quarters moving, and Warren Wilson is the first in the line. Inside of him is Jimmy Irvin. Featherstone got back and covered well. Wilson just looked as though he might get through the eye of the needle then. It might have been a forward pass, but referee Whitfield didn't think so. As Gary Lord came onto it, Harkin again. Here's big Carl Harrison. Fine tackle by Tim Sharp. And there's the chip through, which Simpson will field. Oh, and he'll fumble as well. It's going to be a try. It it is for Rob Hutchinson, and disaster for Owen Simpson. A shake of the head for him. Hero 1 minute and the villain the next, but Hutchinson gets Halifax's first try.
Well, really, this is where they wanted to get back in the game if they were going to, but it's that man Harkin again, a superb kick behind the defence, but he had all the time in the world here. He missed it completely. I know how he must feel, and everybody else does as well.
Rob Hutchinson doesn't care about that. He's registered his 4th try, his first in fact since that mammoth 76 points to 8 win over Hull Kingston Rovers. And it was just what Halifax required at this time.
Oh, it certainly was. They badly needed it. They haven't put much together, it must be honest, and they've defended heroically at times, but they've let 2 tries in to start with, and they really wanted to get back on because it was starting to go a little away from them.
"21 minutes gone, it's 10-6, and this kick could make it 10-8. Well, we've seen him kick them from this sort of angle in that amazing game against Widnes. Stands as though on centre duty, and then the ball goes down. He's a very distinctive figure, Greg Pearce. He has a very distinctive style too. He stands as though on sentry duty. And then looks to hook the ball round, but it's not going to quite come round enough. It wasn't a bad attempt in the end. But Featherstone still lead, but they've been cut back to 10-6. This is a very good, lively game, David, just what you expect in the Regal Trophy.
Yes, it is. Both sides, the tackling is committed as one would expect in this sort of game anyway, but they have been. The Featherstone is more expansive. They've played the game out wide, and in fairness, Halifax have found Featherstone's defence tight, but that was a superb kick by Harkin behind the defence, changing the whole pattern of the game, and of course they scored a try as a result of it.
Richard Milner driving forward very well there for a good 10 yards. And here's Brendan Hill again. Caught his ankle, 5 yards inside his own half. Pearce to kick. They do have options now with Pearce kicking as well as Harkin. But it's going to be fielded surely by Bibb. They lay off the 10 yards. Terry Manning, first time he's had the ball, I would think, almost. He did test his ankle out around the back of the pitch just before the game, decided he was all right, and he's a key man for Featherstone, as is Fisher here. Well, he did well there because he got that ball away, and Owen Simpson manages to make another 5 yards. Sharp. There's a shout of "get him onside Whitfield" down there. He's never heard that before. On the left tackle, look for Fox, or look for Pearson to kick. It was Pearson. And that's a horrible high one for anybody to have to take, and how well taken it was by Mark Preston. Lovely catch.
It really was. He came in field to catch that under a lot of pressure, and of course they are the ones that really count in this game. They're the ones under pressure. You've got to be able to take them, and he certainly took that well.
Perhaps the most interesting aspect, David, is that we've seen absolutely nothing yet of David Watson and Greg Austin in the centres for Halifax.
Well, we haven't, because in fairness, Featherstone's defence have been up quickly, but Featherstone, as I said, their expansive game is as such that they move it out and then take it out very, very wide, and that's causing the Halifax defence some problems.
That was Watson with a shorter ball. Austin was coming up on the shoulder and couldn't get there, so Pearson has won it again for Featherstone Rovers. And penalties given against Paul Harkin, though he ended up getting shoved back by Pearson.
Well, the rule does state that you must get away from the tackled man, and whether he was there accidentally or otherwise, the referee felt that he was being impeding him, and as a result he's given him an opportunity to kick for goal.
Harkin the offender. Fox will be the penalty taker. And he mounts the ball. A 50% record so far. And there's a shout going up. And up and up. The ball went up and up to sail through the sticks, and retribution is taken on Harkin's tackle, and it's 12-6.
Well, there was no doubt in that. That was a superb kick for goal. It's straight between the posts without any doubts at all, and a very important kick as well, because as you already know, Halifax were creeping up on them, and that's put them a little further away.
Just under quarter of an hour left in the first half. And again, Featherstone have just about got away with that. The ball was knocked back, but nobody from Halifax was quite alert enough to snap it up.
Yes, amazing, because Featherstone in attack have held on to the ball quite well, and they've used the ball out wide. In defence, it's those little passes, the ones that have been spilling all the time, and putting their own defence under a lot of pressure.
Which is no doubt why so many sides have scored over 20 points against them this season.
Well, that's right. That has been a problem with them. It's I would have thought it was a simple task of clearing the line, getting somebody as good as Derek Fox to kick the ball down the touchline and get them out of their danger area.
Well, although he's the coach of Halifax, Roger Millward lives just up the road from here, not very far anyway. He's been to Post Office Road a time or two in his distinguished career. It's the first time he's been as the coach of anybody other than Hull Kingston Rovers. Gary Rose does get it away for Derek Fox. Strong boy Gary Rose though, and there he is again now, farming the ball out for Andy Fisher. It's going to fall to Carl Harrison and Seamus McCallion's attentions. The lights on, as you see, at Post Office Road. They still favour the 3:30 kickoff time here. Swift work by Tuta. That's the last tackle. What are the odds on a Derek Fox drop goal, maybe? Well, it's the up and under instead. And once more he puts pressure on Warren Wilson. And once more Wilson responds well. He and Preston have made impressive catches.
Yes, they certainly have, because there is a lot of pressure on you when you're taking the ball up there. The whole line of defence or attack, whichever you want to look at it, runs forward to you, and you really have to keep your eyes on the ball to catch it.
Been a happy hunting ground for Halifax over the years, and they're behind again at the moment, but they're on the attack with McCallion, the last survivor from the last Challenge Cup final appearance, Seamus McCallion. Here's a bit of urgency shown by Warren Wilson. He's, funnily enough, he's looked the likeliest of the backs. He's made some good runs. Pearce, interesting kick by Pearce. It dribbled away from Bibb before he now picks it up and sees a gap and almost got through it as well. Fine tackle by Pearce himself following up his own kick.
It really was, but you have to admire as well the way in which this boy Bibb runs as well, because he ran out of defence then. The defence, he was really closed in, but his sidestep took him half inside and gave him an opportunity to make a little ground.
Fox and Pearson formed a very good understanding at half-back. No way through for Rose. Fox elects to kick over the top, and it gives Wilson another chance to collect. His positional play has been good. Mick Powell highlighted this at the start of the programme. Penalty's going to be given here. It was a bit high, was that, by Andy Fisher.
Well, this is Catcher now. Instead of running straight, he goes across the front line because he's now running across to where the defence is thickest. But it's the tackle from the side then, which came across. It really jumped up at him. Down below is the place to tackle, boys.
Warren Wilson has been sprightly in attack. And now Halifax, if they can get a try and a goal now, of course, we'll be back all square. That's what they're looking for. Especially knowing they've got to come up the hill in the second half. Brendan Hill plunders towards the Featherstone line, and 3 men hold on to that huge frame. Great chance this for Halifax without question. Carl Harrison bulldozing his way to within 5 yards. They'll be looking to release those pacey three-quarters though. Harkin, Irvine along the line, back inside. Here's Watson, brilliantly done by Watson, and his head is almost taken away from his shoulders. That was quite brutal looking. I'll be interested to see the replay. He's such a slippery runner, David Watson. He was no more than 3 yards from the line. Well, he was almost chopped in two.
Well, that really was a high tackle again. It is always the case. You've got to learn to leave your arms down when somebody steps inside you. But let's just look at it now on the slow-mo. It's a superb run by him because he comes against the run of play, and this is what he's strongest, run the defence here. But look at that. That really was upstairs. That there was no doubt at all. He'll be lucky to survive that.
He's off. Andy Fisher, and it's no more than 2 minutes after his last high tackle. And away goes Andy Fisher. Well, a fortnight ago we saw Leeds beat Featherstone when they lost 2 men on that day, and they've lost another one now.
Watch now, let's just go back again on it. It's when Wilson runs across the back of the defence. He comes in here and runs against a broken field. This is superb. But watch when Andy Fisher now comes across. It's just as he's about to... Look, it really did take his head off, and he has no doubts at all about it, Robin. The referee was justified in doing just that. Away, off you go.
Penalty has been awarded, needless to say. It could almost have been a penalty try. I mean, Watson was within 3 or 4 feet of the line.
That's right, it is the referee has to make that decision. If he thought that Watson was going to get over, I suppose there was some doubt because he could have been tackled really from that situation. When that happens, an incident of that nature, it does give people the opportunity to drop their arms and don't do anything at all.
And it'll be a mystery if Pearce doesn't kick this one. He certainly ought to do. It's 12-8, 7 minutes before the break, and don't forget Featherstone are down to 12 men for the remainder of the game. And I bet Watson's ears are still ringing.
Well, referees have to be consistent, and there's been 1 or 2 incidents which have come close to the mark in this game, but that really just topped them all, and he was quite right in sending them off.
Well, of course, they're without Ian Smales at the moment of Featherstone Rovers. He got a 4-match ban after that game against Leeds, so they're going to be a bit short in the second row.
Well, that's right, but I mean, the game is about, and they do say tackle low, and that certainly was nowhere near a low tackle.
Here's a good breakout, and they're trying to release Mark Preston. We all know he's got the speed to go the distance, and he's still going as well. Cutting in field, Preston now straightening up down the middle. Still Preston trying to arc and slice his way between defenders, and it takes a fine tackle by Paul Newlove, aided and abetted by Tim Sharp to halt him. Good spell this for Halifax, their best of the first half. And they're all fired up without question now. Irvine, Harkin, the kick through. The chase is on, and Simpson's not going to make the mistake a second time.
Well, he certainly wasn't. He was going to kick that as far away from the Featherstone ground as he possibly could. But this was a superb run by Preston because he comes in off the wing. He doesn't have a lot of room to go on the outside here, but he's wise enough to come back inside, and that really catches out. It's his speed that takes him. But look, he falls, picks himself back up, and then decides, I'm not going to pass, I'm going to go as far as I can, and that's good wing play because that means that the defence all have to close in on him. If he can play it quickly, there might be opportunities for somebody on the outside.
This is a rumbustious affair. Pearce to within a yard of the 25. Halifax need another try though before the break to get back level. Harkin, sleight of hand, releasing Brendan Hill, thundering up the middle. Two men take him out. It was Clark and Bibb who tackled him. Gary Lord's slip just halts the impetus for a moment. Critical for Featherstone to hold on and not give anything away now before the break. Carl Harrison, it's going to go from his grasp, and Bibb says thanks very much.
Well, that was likely relief then really for Featherstone, because they are under desperate pressure now, 12 men. They do have to turn around second half and come down the hill, but they've now got to keep it tight. They've got to make every ball count.
That was a poor pass, and Owen Simpson fumbles it but manages to keep it in play. That was less impressive from Featherstone, who've lost their way a little bit in the last few minutes. And another stoppage. And referee Whitfield has halted play here because Gary Rose needs some treatment. There's blood coming from his eye, and the new rules insist that where there is blood on a player, he's got to be treated immediately. But David, it's going to be such a test of Featherstone's character and stamina in the second half, having come through 2 matches already this week, and then there's going to be only 12 of them out there.
It certainly is, and it's a time when Halifax are taking the opportunity to really get on top now, because they are throwing it about now and they are playing with far more confidence than they have done. And of course they've got 13 men, Featherstone 12. But Featherstone do make some silly mistakes in defence. For all their good play, they do give so much away.
They can ill afford to give anything away now as Fox kicks long and is flattened by Hill. Hill followed through. The referee is allowing play to continue at the other end of the field, and they will just do that with Hutchinson trying to elude his markers. Treatment is being administered to Derek Fox, who picks himself up very groggily, and now the touch judge has come on. And this is the hardest encounter we've seen this season, and it's a bad-tempered affair.
Well, it's a kick out of defence here, which he was doing. Let's just watch it. Well, he certainly went in well after the ball had been kicked, and I'm just hoping that the linesman does see that, because it is important that that's what their job is to do, to watch things that go on behind play. The referee can keep up with play.
It's not really a fair contest either, Brendan Hill versus Derek Fox, is it? It's a bit like Frank Bruno versus Twiggy. And a yellow card for Brendan Hill. He gets 10 minutes. Andy Fisher is off for the rest of the match on the Featherstone side. Brendan Hill will have 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Well, that was a little silly then, really, Brendan, to do that, because they wanted to really make the most of it playing down this half. Now they are down as well, which gives Featherstone the opportunity now to hold their own now for the remaining minutes of the half, to come out second half to play down that famous slope. That's gone further 10 yards now, because someone has said something obviously after the sending off has taken place, which gives him an even easier task than the one he had before. Important kick for Derek Fox.
Very important kick for Fox, who's just about regained his senses in time to kick it. He really was flattened by Hill just a minute ago. And now here he is, putting boot to ball and sending Featherstone 14-8 in front. Such is the nature of rugby league. It's a man's game, all right. And he sits there and thinks, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. My team were coming back into it, they're 2 points further down now. And he won't be able to come out at the start of the second half. A bad place to knock on Brendan Tutor.
Again, as we've said, you know, a mistake again. Those situations are the ones that you've got to clear up to bring this defence a little more stable than it has been.
This is a very important scrum indeed in the context of the game. Featherstone have got a 6-point lead, but Halifax have the scrum, they have the take-out. Can they score a try? Irvine goes straight into Tutor. Pearce. 4 more tackles to come. Pearce goes on to within 5-6 yards of the line. Which way will they come? There's Carl Harrison lining up on the left, Harkin on the right. Harkin has got it back in, and guess who it is? It's Greg Austin. It had to be. He's happy now. And Greg Austin gets try number 17 of the season, and the Rugby League's top try scorer has done it again.
Well, it was from that kick-off, but this is superb because he delays the pass and brings it behind the defence. That means that nobody was near enough to guide him. Austin on the outside, good score.
Good score indeed. He's a real try poacher. He's always there when he needs to be. He's got a phenomenal record for Halifax. 57 tries for them in 42 games. And a critical moment. It's brought Halifax right back into it just before half-time. Pearce knows how important this kick is, that's why he's taking even more time than usual over it.
Yes, it is important. Well, every kick is important, we know that, but equally this is because they know they've got to come out second half and play up the hill. And we all know how Featherstone can perform by coming down this famous slope.
You still have nightmares about that, David, I'm told?
I certainly do. It's always difficult here. Psychologically, you always know that you on a good win if you can play up in the second half, in the first half, to come down that hill in the second. Just makes you feel better.
Greg Pearce will feel better if he lands this one. That was a good attempt. It's just going to drift across the face of the uprights. And the half-time hooter sounds. And what a first half, a tempestuous affair, but Greg Austin's try just before the break has put Halifax right back into the match. It's Featherstone Rovers 14, Halifax 12. Let's hear from Nick Fowle on the touchline.
Chris Burton, a fairly tough first half in all respects.
Yeah, I think it's a very physical game. I mean, that's what cup match is all about, isn't it?
It's not looking quite as good for you as it was 15 minutes ago, is it?
No, it certainly isn't. I mean, I feel that we've possibly let ourselves down in many ways as defence. The best part of the first half's been very good, but unforced errors and a couple of penalties in his own 25 were just keeping ourselves under pressure, really.
So what are the instructions going to be now?
Well, I think we've got to cut out the unforced errors, keep the discipline good, and we've proved that we can score tries against some good tries as well. And I think things will come good for us in the end.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Cheers.
A very sensible and realistic view from Chris Burton there. 15-12 to Featherstone at half-time. They got the first 2 tries from Owen Simpson and Martin Pearson. 3 goals from Derek Fox. Halifax hit back through Rob Hutchinson, and then that critical try from Greg Austin just before the break. It's 14-12. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Post Office Road as Halifax take the field for the second half, and if the second half's as warm as the first one, we're in for a real treat. Well, a significant moment just before half-time came when Halifax scored their second try. Brendan Tutor had put the ball down. It was a scrum close to the line, and Paul Harkin, ever the architect, waited for the moment and then released the pass, and it was that man on the spot, Greg Austin, who was there to score at a key moment in the game. So Halifax are right back in it then, just 2 points the difference. Let's have a Halifax view from Roy Southernwood talking with Nick.
Roy, it's looking a lot brighter for you than it was after 20 minutes.
Yeah, we got a late try there, and Greg was unfortunate with kick, but it's put us right back in game now.
How important do you think that try might have been just before the break?
It's a very important try, like it gives lads a confidence booster, like they'll come out now and they'll be raring to get on the scoreboard again.
What have the instructions been in the dressing room, you think?
Well, they've just been told to stop giving silly penalties away and, you know, just get down to playing serious rugby and it'll come for us.
OK, could be a very close battle in the second half, just about to get underway with John.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, I think, David, the team talks will have been vital because these sides have got to calm down a little bit and stop giving daft penalties away.
That's right, answering back to referees, making sure trapping the ball properly from kicks, also important because they can make mistakes in defence, and that makes life very difficult for them.
In the first half, Featherstone won just 1 scrum, Halifax won 3. Only 4 in all, none were won against the head. The penalty count, 3 against Featherstone, 7 against Halifax. I thought there might have been more than that. And the handling errors, just 6 by Rovers and 5 by Halifax. Quite impressive statistics in many ways, and here's an impressive burst again by Pearce. And he must be held there in that tackle. Here now is Harkin. And again he's looking to find a touch, and he's angled it well, and he's distanced it well too.
Well, that's a good start. They wanted to get out of their own 25. It really would have been hard work to put your head down. Pearce went to kick, made something like 40 yards. Harkin, realising the opportunity was there, Featherstone still strolling back, kicked over the top, and has found touch now only 10-15 yards from the Featherstone line.
Harkin hasn't scored a try for Halifax, but by Jove, he's made a few in his short spell with the club. Featherstone win it. Fox jinking. Tough and durable little competitor he is. Gary Rose. Casey. 2 prop forwards coming up, one after the other. Oh, and that was a telling break. What a good burst of speed Brendan Tuta has. And he's made valuable yardage there for Featherstone. Now then, Fox's ball. Manning onto Chris Bibb, and Chris Bibb carves his way through. Exciting start to the half by Featherstone now. Chris Bibb within 8 yards of the line. He wants to play it quickly for Ikram Butt. Inside, Pearson looking for his second try. Switching it. Oh, and Featherstone have got an overlap on the left, surely. Oh, the ball had to go left, and there must have been a score. Newlove didn't get it out. Now it might be. Still there, kept at bay, and if Newlove had whipped that ball out left, Featherstone had to score.
Well, that was frantic stuff, all started by Tuta and that superb run down, and then Chris Bibb on the outside, but they really caused the defence to panic. But it really was, Newlove should have got rid of that ball. Let's just watch Bibb now coming down on the outside. It was a super run by him here. Really touched right along the touchline here. Really stretched the defence. They tried to knock his ankles from under him. He really took the ball infield well. That means the defence all up a rush to him.
Well, we've had another set 2 between Carl Harrison and Terry Manning, and as a result of it, Harrison has conceded a penalty. And Featherstone should get the first points of the half, and a strict talking to from Robin Whitfield to the big Harrison.
Well, that's amazing. I bet both coaches at half-time said we mustn't make mistakes, we mustn't answer back. And really, that's what the game has been riddled with, a number of mistakes, a number of answering backs, which has given a lot of points away on both sides.
And if Fox kicks this one, Featherstone will go the value of a try in front again. They are, they're 4 points to the good. It's 16-12. News from the touchline is that Warren Wilson is in the blood bin. He's got a cut on the head, and he's replaced by Martin Wood. And this will be a penalty on the halfway line because the ball was kicked dead by Halifax. And now I think Seamus McCallion has said something out of turn to Robin Whitfield, and another yellow card, so he joins Brendan Hill in there.
I really am amazed at professional players in this situation. It was a bad kick to kick it all that far anyway, really. I mean, it really only wanted to kick it off. You've got 50 yards of the field to kick it, and you kick it dead. And of course then to answer back the decision by the referee is absolutely suicide.
And you saw a shot there, and Seamus McCallion has joined Brendan Hill and Warren Wilson in there as Featherstone concede a penalty. Leo Casey talking about use of the head. Robin Whitfield's having a tough old time out there. He's got a birthday coming up on Tuesday as well. He'll be 48. He'll remember this day, all right.
There's one thing about him though, he doesn't have any nonsense, and more often than not he's in the right place at the right time.
Brendan Hill is back on now for Halifax, so they are restored to 12 players. They only had to survive about a minute with 11. They come up the slope with Harrison. And here for the first time is Martin Wood, who apparently had an outstanding game in the A-team's victory over Wigan on Friday night. Harkin, good play. Pearce tries to open up Featherstone down the right. There's been some excellent rugby league football in between the nonsense. Hill holds on just and plunders another 5 or 6 yards. Well, we know he's back on all right. Like a grizzly bear. And Halifax will look to switch it. Harkin chips through. Bibb fumbles. There might be a score here. No, Bibb just managed to dive in desperately on the ball. And these little kick-throughs of Harkin's are causing all sorts of problems.
Well, he really is a superb footballer. He does everything to change the mood and pattern of the game. This again, the defence is up tight. He puts it through. He was unfortunately tripped. Bibb nearly missed it, but he was good recovery really to get back and prevent Halifax scoring.
The drop out is fielded by Gary Lord, who's gone to full back since Warren Wilson went off. Wilson will be able to come back. And Halifax raiding in numbers now. Harkin to Harrison. To come back to Harkin. They might have chances here. Halifax. Greg Austin, Mark Preston looking for a gap and thundering up the middle. And this is going to be a sensational score for Preston. And what an amazing record this man has got. He's failed to score in only one league game this season, and that's a beauty.
Mistakes it was, but Paul Harkin again was at the heart of this. It was his short pass to Greg Austin. It really was coming back inside and catching the defence all going outside, expecting him to go outside. Superb turn of pace by Preston. He really scores and scorches in under the post.
Scorches is the word, David. He really is a speed merchant, and that's try number 13 for him. There's nothing unlucky about this fellow. What a good and astute buy by Roger Millward he is. And the scores are level, 16 all, but I have a feeling that Halifax are about to go in front for the first time. They are in front, and the Halifax fans gathered behind those sticks celebrate Pearce's conversion, and it's 16-18.
Really was an opportunity he had here by coming again backing off his wing. The defence had all gone. He ran across the face now of everybody going the wrong way, saw the gap down the middle, had a superb turn of pace here, just let everybody for dead.
Another twist in the match. It's a breathless game as Watson comes. There really is some pace in this three-quarter line.
Well, it's been littered with mistakes, but I mean, we really have seen some great running here this afternoon. I mean, it really has been a cup tie of high quality in that respect.
Harrison, another bulldozing run from the Great Britain prop. These are dangerous moments for Featherstone on their own ground as Harkin finds another touch, and he's running the show at the moment.
Well, he's a scum half. We've said many things about him on many programmes, but he really is a terrier at half-back, and he can dictate a game. And when he's on song, when he's got forwards running for him, he really can put them in all kinds of good positions.
Featherstone heel it. They need a bit of a reprieve now. They need to come back into it. Casey. Fine combined tackle there between Wood and Hill on him. Clark managing to pick it up. Fox along the line. They look to create space on the left. Here's Paul Newler having a tilt and tearing towards the line. And Simpson's in. And Featherstone do come back with Simpson's second score of the afternoon, created by Newler.
Well, I thought Featherstone were going back to playing one-man rugby, but that certainly wasn't the case. And this boy, Pio Newell, he says he's coming back to his best form. His strength really took him through here. A superbly timed pass to Simpson, and that is a marvellous try.
It's a marvellous match as well. It's got everything as this one. Another critical kick under the lights for Derek Fox. On the left of your picture, comes and he kicks, and there's a roar, and that is why. Snooker style, it off.
Well, absolutely brilliant, and what a way to answer back. They let Preston's try in, and they come back and score that. This sort of try is what they score. It wasn't a very good play, the ball. He did very well to get it away. It's Fox again with a high pass, and then the long pass, and Tuta puts him on the outside. But really look how strongly he runs. He really goes forward all the time. Half tackles can't hold him. Superbly timed pass. Simpson in the corner.
Well, if I was going to try and be rotten to you, David, I'd say, who's your money on?
Well, it would be very difficult, the slope and 12 men, but they are belying all that. I did say there was some advantage coming down here, but it's such a free-scoring game.
And another arm was flung in there by Jimmy Irvine, and this time referee Whitfield contents himself with a word for the standoff half.
But it's amazing, all these positions are given away by bad things. So Jimmy Irvine goes up over the top of his head. He was very fortunate there, he wasn't really knocked hard.
So the intent was there, even if the connection wasn't. Gary Rose acting halfback, fierce to say the least. Harrison and Hill all coming in with Irvine. Casey and Fox, and again they're spreading it, and Tim Sharp fends away the challenge again. It was Irvine who was a bit high once more. And the crowd are really baying now as they open them up for Terry Mannings. Well, he made 20 yards, 20 very good yards as well. Don't forget he's got an ankle injury too. And it's all happening here. I think stirring is the word for this contest.
Well, they really do put their passes together, and their backing up is good as well. The change of direction when the man's coming in to take the ball is good, and that's making Halifax quite good running players.
Tuta into the gap, the long ball is for Simpson. Owen Simpson gets free. Owen Simpson gets a hat-trick. That's terrific wing play by Owen Simpson. To think a year ago he was playing for Keighley.
Well, they really put on the pressure here, but it's Tuta again with us running round. He gets the pass away, but really it has to be said how poor the defence was there, because they should have got him. Preyas has had the opportunity, but there again it was determined running by Simpson.
And what a popular hat-trick this is. 12 tries for him now this season. He's having a purple patch, all right. Well, it's almost difficult trying to keep track of the score. The tries are coming thick and fast. It's 26-18 by my reckoning. And Foxy isn't doing too badly, is he? 5 kicks from 6. Not quite this time. Well, you can't expect them to go in off the post all the time.
He's such an inspiration to them, wasn't he? But really, again, it's their opportunity to keep the ball on the move all the time, and this is perfectly illustrated here. It's a long pass out again to Simpson. Really missed man and ball there. Pearce should have got him, but Simpson, determined running, gets him in for his hat-trick.
Featherstone have to run it out from between their own posts. There's a better kick up the hill from Halifax. McCallion is now back on in the scrum cap, so they're back to a full complement. Featherstone, remember, have 12 men, but they have the lead, and they're 8 points in front now. It's the best lead they've had since the early phases of the game, but Halifax concede another penalty,
Well, I'm not sure that, you know, from here, that it seemed to me then that really when Brendan went in to take that tackle, Brendan, it really took the ball off the man, and that to me is a one-to-one situation.
Fox again, and they really have got their pecker up at the moment, and this is Tuta. Inspirational play from Tuta. Oh, what a score! Paul Newlove this time, and Rovers are rampant. Halifax torn asunder.
Well, it's this man Tuta again, really, because this ball comes back the other way, but look how he's running off Fox there, and it's his strength to take him through the tackle. It can't be said the tackling wasn't good, but this boy Newlove really is turning back his best form. Really great Britain standards here as he scores in the corner.
We've had 3 Featherstone tries in 16 minutes, number 14 of the season for Newlove. And things looked so good for Halifax, didn't they, when Mark Preston scored and they went in front for the only time in the match.
But they too have been guilty of some of these small fouls and situations. They've had men sent to the sin bin, which they should never have had 2 in fact, and really it's overcome the fact that they were really superior in numbers to Featherstone, and Featherstone running like this really do look good.
You do wonder how they struggled against Bramley, with all due respect to Bramley, and Fox has putted another one. And it's 32-18, and it's all going Featherstone Rovers' way.
Well, the game's all about strong, hard running, and it's this man Tuta again who really comes onto the pass off Derek Fox. Half tackles are certainly not going to stop him, and that was a half tackle. But when he put it out to Newlove, it was his strength, really, and the directness of his running that took him away from the defence.
Great Britain have been looking for a centre for some time, and you think if you got him and Paul Loughlin maybe fit again, we would have a couple of very good centres.
Well, the boy has gained so much from the experiences he already had, and he has said in the programme today that he's coming back to his best form, and he certainly is. He's a strong runner, he's a determined runner, but he's also a good player for a wing as well.
Lovely reverse ball inside, and they're full of confidence now. It really is flooding through the veins, although one or two of the passes are not quite finding the mark. They're running with tremendous purpose, Featherstone, and it's a bit of a bogey ground for Halifax, is this, and it looks like continuing to be so. Rose gets them moving, the ball is switched inside this time, still they come. This is excellent play. Can Derek Fox make it? He's skipping away towards the corner flag. Held a yard short.
Well, what a sensational try that would have been again.
Certainly would. And the ball has been lost at this stage. Fox literally a yard away from his first try of the season for Featherstone. His only one has been for Yorkshire.
Look at the directness of their running, you have to see it. They hemmed in down on that touchline, but it really is good backing up that takes them down.
Been a terrific second half, and Featherstone can really clinch it maybe if they score from this. They're going to do. Pearson, he's there, arms aloft, and Featherstone right on song have a great chance of going through to the last 8.
It certainly has to be said, questions have to be asked about the defence, but at the same time this tremendous strength of running of Pearson really gets him over.
His second of the afternoon to go with a hat-trick from Owen Simpson. It's all coming up roses for Rovers.
Well, they really have been a revelation. They really have started running at defence. Questions have to be asked of Halifax defence. They've never really settled down from the first minute, and they let a lot in the first couple of minutes of the game, but really it's gone from bad to worse to them. But a lot has already been said about the great running of this Featherstone side and the backing up of the P-man with the ball.
They are a handful of their own ground in this mood.
Well, it stunned the Halifax supporters into a dead silence here.
The only smiles are on the Featherstone side at the moment. Fox with the kick. No this time. And so Halifax lead by 36 points to 18. They've doubled the tally in the space of about 10 minutes.
Well, you don't see many scrums from tries from a scrum, but Pearson went really round here, caught the defence napping, strength took him over, and his speed.
This man must be a lot happier, Owen Simpson, not only because of his hat-trick, but because it was his fluff which opened the way for Halifax to get their first try.
Well, that's right. It's always nice when you can come back and reflect that you made a mistake which could have cost you the game, and then suddenly you've been nearly the match winner.
Casey just happy to hold on. We're into the second half of the second half. So there's still time for Halifax. They're supposed to come back into it, though they've got to do something that they've not been doing in the last few minutes.
Well, the defence hasn't got. It's gone up quickly. It's gone up in ones and twos. Look again. It's only one up on the defensive situation. But that's caught Foxy. Wonder if the referee's got anything to say about that one.
Derek Fox is all right. And no decision. So Halifax do come. This is Peter Bell, who's come on as substitute forward. Lord, across the line, Halifax needing inspiration. Greg Austin might give them some. They've got the pace, no question about that. Halifax with the pace, Featherstone with the determination for the moment. Well, we were just saying only a few minutes ago, Paul Harkin was running the show, and up popped Featherstone with 4 tries. Here's Harkin now, and that's a dangerous kick through. Preston is in here. Preston might get there. Oh, bravely done by Ikram Butt, and he comes and has a go. Rip-roaring cup tie.
Well, really, it's been from one end of the field to the other. Many things are said about that type of rugby, but it really has been that frantic a game.
If you like to see tries scored, this is the place to be today. 6 for Featherstone, 3 for Halifax already. But it does say so much for the approach and attitude of these lads that, from the Featherstone side in particular, they've played twice during the week, Tuesday night, Thursday night, and here they are again, carrying the fight to Halifax, who are no slouches themselves. Halifax beat Barrow last weekend. This is a very different kettle of fish. Hoisted by Fox. Pearce goes together, loses it. It's another try for Featherstone. Would you believe it? Pearson's got a hat-trick to go with the one for Simpson.
Well, they say when things are down, your luck is out. But again, it has to be said, a superb kick from this one, first of all, by Casey. He comes down the field, sucks the defence in. Look, 3 have to go in now, near enough to him. It's a play the ball from this situation, and look for Fox's high kick up in the air. Pearce underneath it, he can't catch it. Just watch it now. He's half turning here. He's not really sure where it's coming from. And thank you very much, Pearson says.
An unbelievable day, a memorable day for Martin Pearson. Would you say he's happy? I think Derek Fox, the skipper's going to be very, very happy indeed. Exultant to another 2 points, and the Featherstone score just keeps on mounting. 42 points they've rattled up now, and to think only 20 minutes ago they were losing by 18 points to 16.
Well, it really has been a transformation of fortunes as far as sides are concerned. We were saying about Harkin running the show. They were running properly in ones and twos, but certainly it's all gone from them, but it's down to a really slipshod defence.
Simpson can't get on the outside this time of Irvine. And it's hard to think that Featherstone are playing with 12 men out here, and have done for such a long time since Fisher was sent off.
Well, I've seen them playing a couple of times this season, and they really have tremendous potential as a running side. If they could only tighten up their own defence at times, they'd have had certainly a lot more wins under their belt than they have at this moment.
Around about 5,500 here at Post Office Road, and they've enjoyed every second of this encounter. I know I have. I suppose the only person who hasn't is Roger Millward.
Well, that's right, and the Halifax players out there, I think they can't believe it, really. It's been like a whirlwind that has hit them.
Pearce now playing at full back. Taken out. Double tackle of Manning. Halifax looking to come back through this 6'5" forward Peter Bell. Still unloading it to Preston, who does well to hold on. Pearce will come up now and lead the next assault. McCallion from acting halfback, slipping the short ball for Richard Milner on the last tackle. Harkin to kick perhaps here. Or use the pace that they've got, undoubtedly, but down goes Martin Wood in the tackle, and it's a handover. Ten tries in the game. Fox. So strange to think that Featherstone have had such a bleak season. They're looking for another try. Gary Rose, here's Ikram Butt, and he's held off by Mark Preston. Nobody better than Preston to come back. But still Featherstone are looking, and Terry Manning, he wants to get on the score sheet. So there was everybody on this Featherstone side, every man jack of them. It was Trevor Clark who was 5 yards out. Now it's Fox whipping it along the line once more. This time the Halifax tackling is good. Is it going to be good all the way, though? Oh, it's another score. Chris Bibb. And this is almost unbelievable.
Well, there are very, very few better sides when they play the way Featherstone play today, with the ball being used. But Bibb then again taking advantage of some awfully weak tackling to cross all right.
Turned into a rout, and who would have believed that? In the early moments of this second half. Try number 7 of the season for Chris Bibb. Another attempt for Derek Fox from a very familiar position, and it hovers and hangs and goes wide. (46-18), astonishing. Well, the local announcement is that Brendan Tutor has won the Man of the Match award, and that's a good decision.
It really was, because it was his mistake at half-time. I thought might have been the change in the game, but he certainly has run with determination, looked for and found gaps in this Halifax side, and has always been putting people into better positions, scoring ones at that.
Still 11 minutes left, and that must be a horrific statistic for Roger Millward to contemplate. As Pearson shoots like a bullet again and wants to go all the way, and Pearson might go all the way. What a brilliant score by the stand-up half. That's got to be one of the tries of the season. Doesn't matter who it's against, you've got to get them, and he's gone 70 yards, Martin Pearson, to bring up the 50.
This boy has as much potential as I've ever seen anybody in rugby league. I've been very impressed with him. But really it's his strength and his ability to take people on. Pearce had no chance here. Then Preston was coming in, probably the fastest man on the game. But he really kept his head and determination. And what a try that has been.
What a try indeed. Featherstone's top score of the season. Pearson's 8th try. And he's got 4 today. Derek Fox again. He's having plenty of practice, isn't he? And that's 52 points on the board. 9 Featherstone tries already scored.
Change of direction, a shell-shocked Halifax side. That's all it needs, really. But it's the strength of this boy and the ability to take people on the outside. Round Pearce he goes. The fastest man of all is in to catch him. He can't catch him either. The boy's over for a brilliant try.
What a field day he's had, and what a field day Featherstone have had, all told. And Halifax will find this hard to believe after their recent performances. And you think we saw them beat Widnes a few weeks ago, and they were outstanding then. Ikram Butt wants to get on the sheet now. Because that's the thing, everybody wants the ball when the team's so much on top.
Well, that's right. It generates confidence when you can score, and everybody feels they're good enough to beat everybody on the field, but they've still insisted on using the ball, and that's what's been important. It hasn't been one head down and away to go. It's the insistence on moving it wide, an expansive game, and really this defence doesn't know what's hit it.
I can scarcely remember Featherstone dropping a pass this afternoon. You're not going to believe this. Pearson's gone again. He might get his 5th try. Oh, he straightens up into the tackle of Pearce this time. Otherwise, I think he might well have been on the sheet for the 5th time.
Yes, knowing what he did last time, you'd have thought he'd have taken him on the outside, because he did have Imran Butter not coming up on the outside. It might have been a better decision, but there we are. The boy thought he could knock him off. It wasn't to happen that time.
Pearce held him down, so it's a penalty. Surely they're not going to kick for goal at this stage. The crowd are baying for tries. They want the 10th, and Gary Rose is the first man to go. To play the ball will be Terry Manning. I know he'd love to get on the sheet. Here he goes, Terry Manning. He's almost there, 5 yards out. Halifax bedraggled. I think desperate to hear the final hooter as well. And the switch inside is for Tutor, and if ever a man deserved a try on this day, it's Brendan Tutor, and he's got one.
Well, it's a sad reflection, but Halifax really have dropped their heads now completely. No one really is bothered what's happening in the side. That's sad to see in a First Division side, but really it's the enthusiasm and the effort of this Featherstone side that have really knocked the stuffing out of them.
It's been a quite incredible second half. I don't think I've ever seen such a swift turnaround in fortunes. Mark Preston took Halifax 18 points to 16 ahead with the aid of a Pearce goal. A few minutes into the second half, and since then it's just been one-way traffic. They've scored 8 tries in this half.
Well, you have to ask the question, what would they have done with 13 men?
There's 2 more points. And 58 points now on the board for Featherstone. A double substitution to be made by Featherstone Rovers. And that's the last thing that Halifax want, fresh legs coming on at this stage. Leo Casey waves to the crowd. On comes number 14, Spencer Longstaff, and 15, Glenn Booth. It's Chris Bibb who's also gone off.
Well, they've had a rout today, but they've had 2 hard games in the week, and it really is a matter of resting legs now, because they're so far away, there's no chance.
Just over 6 minutes to go. 58-18. Music to the ears of the Featherstone fans. They're not going to leave, that's for sure. I think a few Halifax ones might be going back along the M62 shortly.
Yes, there'll be a couple of these Halifax players hiding faces and their persons on Monday morning, I can show you.
Another plundering run, and nobody seemed to want to tackle Gary Rose then. And he made 35 yards. Now Manning goes, switches it inside for Fox. It's going along the line. Into it comes Spencer Longstaff. And for once, Featherstone do put a pass down. Not often anybody scores 4 tries and isn't named man of the match, but that's happened today to Pearson. Halifax looking for a retort of their own in the last 5 minutes. Pearce has taken them to halfway, but the stuffing's been knocked out of them. Gary Lord let's see if they've got the strength of character to summon up one last effort. Peter Bell. Harkin. Well, they might have something here if Watson can get through here. There's a gap and Watson goes and slings the ball back inside for Martin Wood. He's hauled down 20 yards short. This is an obvious opportunity for Halifax just to get another try. McCallion, it's lobbed up in the air and Bell has put it down, and then it's knocked back again to Halifax, and they've got 6 more tackles from a situation that really should produce a score. They've lost heart, we know, but they want to top the 20-point mark, and they've 5 more tackles now. But referee Whitfield is sorting something out under the sticks. Words being spoken to Tim Sharp and Paul Harkin, and it will be a Halifax penalty. So this is their chance to go above the 20-point mark. Harkin will try and catch them unawares. They've got people out on the left. It was knocked down and then picked up again. 6 more for Halifax. So they can only change the scoreline, not the result. Peter Bell, he might make it. Peter Bell held up a couple of yards out. Halifax seeking to whip it along the line. Here now might be a score. No, Gary Lord is held. Still chances. Irvine, here's Watson, still elusive. Featherstone defending stoutly at the moment. Harkin couldn't take it, and the chance has gone begging for Halifax once more. That might be their last chance of getting on the scoreboard again.
Well, that's right, and it says much now of Featherstone. They had to defend, and they're closing down quite quickly on this Halifax attacking machine, and it really is a big stumbling block to them.
Playing out the last couple of minutes at Post Office Road. Just to repeat the scoreline, because even I can hardly believe it. It's Featherstone 58, Halifax 18. That really is it, and Clark tries to stretch it even further. Oh, it's going to be another Featherstone score. They can almost take their pick. Who's going to get it? It's Paul Newland. His second, and Featherstone go into the 60s. The team are on cloud 9, their supporters certainly are as well, and I don't remember a day like this for Rovers.
Well, it's one of the most comprehensive victories I think it'll turn out to be ever, because it really was running now, opportunity, and Newlove again on the burst, stands Pearce still, look at that, sheer skill of the guy coming around him, his speed then takes him away from all and sundry, under the post, gleeful and joyful.
2 for him today, 15 in all. 3 for Simpson, 4 for Pearson. And Derek Fox has a very, very good chance, I would say, of kicking his 10th goal. The chance he takes, he's into double figures as well. An embarrassing scoreline for Halifax, 64-18. It really is inexplicable. Nobody could have predicted this. I mean, at one stage, David, I said to you, which way do you think it's going to go? And neither of us would have really put our necks on the line, would we?
We certainly wouldn't have, but such has been the determination and the ability to run at a defence that has to be asked questions of, has really produced a scoreline of this proportion.
Well, Roger Millward obviously disconsolate. Brendan Hill alongside him. He got sin-binned earlier on in the day. Not a day for them to remember. And again, again it's this man Pearson who breaks the line. and carries on going, and maybe if he'd have just nicked it inside, there might have been a score. Simpson kicks ahead, there might still be a score. Featherstone only have to pick it up, and let's say well done to Paul Harkin there. He carried on running and got back all the way to dive on the ball and prevent a Featherstone try. What would have been the 12th try for Featherstone, but Harkin at least kept going.
Well, he certainly hasn't stopped all the game, and that's something you can't say he's done. Some of his other players can ask themselves questions about their defence and their commitment this afternoon, but you can't say that about his. He covered 100 yards virtually just to fall on that ball to prevent the try.
A penalty was awarded, however, to Featherstone in and amongst all that, and they will run it. Surprise, surprise. And they'll try and get somebody else on the score sheet before the final hooter. They can't. A quite memorable day at Post Office Road for Featherstone Rovers team and their supporters. After 2 hard-fought games against Bramley during the week, they've come here today when everybody thought they'd be tired out, and they've destroyed, nay, annihilated Halifax by 64 points to 18.
Say
Martin, what happened?
I don't know, we just took our chances when they came.
You ever scored 4 before?
Never. I've scored 3 in 18, but that's about it.
Can you celebrate tonight?
Pardon?
Celebrate tonight?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, very much so.
Next round, who would you like?
Bradford at home.
Thanks very much. Well done.
There we are. The statistics, 64 points to 18, 3 tries for Simpson, 4 for Pearson, 2 for Newlove, 1 each for Bibb and Tutor, and 10 goals for Derek Fox against those 3 Halifax tries, which seem an eternity ago now, from Hutchinson, Austin and Preston, and 3 goals by Pearce. David Watkins, what a transformation.
Well, the famous slope, but in reality the brilliance of Fox and Tutor in running the ball wide, and then the strength and speed of Pearson, Manning and Newlove took it all away from a bedraggled Halifax side. It was Pearson's tries really, all 4 of them in reality, and of course Newlove's try showing his strength in running the length of the field.
Yeah.